Adrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say...
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
The Red Devils aren't exactly your average bar crowd. You can see it in their eyes. We don't belong here.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the Cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on two conditions. One, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And two, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. Well, that's about the best news I've had all day. But before you commit, I want to make sure you know the whole story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Oh, well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the Cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. All right. I'm gonna go get this workup into the Cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
What's new with you today?
Celebrating over 275 years of living on. The United Colonies.
Heard you helped us book that Hank Ferraro guy.
Yeah.
my crew position.
You are entering United Colony space. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned. You're on the wanted list. Halt and prepare to be boarded or we will be forced to open fire. I guess you're smarter than you look.
Hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A type. The program I was a part of, it secure the leadership. I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man, Freestar Collective, and the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped. Or, if you've got it, no telling how long the cab... That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye. It became The Devils were always talked about, and the eyes were my parting. Still no word from the... Then I guess it's just a map.
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno-Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic seems at best.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
At the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Near it.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Thank you. For what you did.
The way those people were at.
We tried to restrain them. Get them on the train to get them up. But some of the other officers down there...
Pheromonic project. Some terramorph. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose. You kill the more? Let's do it.
That's unlocked.
Wait. Did you hear that?
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
Just stand there.
We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the left bank, barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down. We'll hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than...
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Roger that. We're on you.
If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. The universe put the right people in the right place. Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to them. Take care of yourselves.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place.
They said you're free to come and go.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today. Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. We see your atypical background as a strength, not a hindrance. The people you'll be dealing with, they're rather atypical themselves. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together.
These orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the Cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. we're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Huh. All right, we'll start at the beginning. When the Colony War ended, the UC and Freestar Collective came to the agreement some weapons needed to be off limits. Mechs, xeno-warfare. So they gathered up all the relevant research materials and sealed that information away. Terramorph data included, in the archives here in the city. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories: UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
I couldn't agree more. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun? Ambassador Balmore's... When the rest of House... He's since left, though claiming to know how a member of House...
Well said. There's no reason to assume they're any worse than us.
Of course. We're not 100%. His public appearances were always rare. Scans...
Your task is to find him and kindly but firm.
I have no doubt.
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, and fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Captain.
If Sam is any example of how stubborn the Freestar people can be, then...
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with...
Use your experiences.
And who knows? But my
Certainly.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
All right. Here.
And take these.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Yes? What?
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
since we were at war with the Collective.
Visitors are only allowed.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
As in more than one? All that security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain. Mr. Long. Of course.
Guests can make them.
Maybe we can reach out to some experts at that sort of thing, huh? Good night, Eva.
Did I not make myself abundantly clear? No, Captain, I'm not, and I'll tell you, fought tooth, but my alien, so I'm not. Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about. No. If the Council found out, I'd lose my position. I'd be exiled. Look, I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. The issue at hand is one of trust, no? So perhaps if I can trust... You're joking, right? You want... Okay. Please. I spoke hastily. And I know you, my dear, dear friend, wouldn't want to let anything get in the way of the two of us and our factions working together. And isn't that ultimately what this is all about? In fact, I think there's an opportunity here. Keep both our factions happy and ensure an air of legitimacy to the whole proceeding. I can only let you get the information on the Terramorphs. Anything else and people will get suspicious. And all research will need to be monitored. Freestar sign, but those two items should be enough to allay any suspicions. Good. They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here you go. I hope that'll be enough to maintain your discretion.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more... Tell me, though, has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terrormorphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires the But if I am to grant you access, I have a request. For years, House Var... In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. The knowledge you ask...
We'll do everything we can to make certain that happens.
Well, then I shall... Please.
I have something I need to discuss with you. I received a message. Oh, of course. I'm sorry. The thing is... Sure. But, as... No, You see, after... For my apprentice, the silver line... I was swallowed by it. Months before, of course. Well, you see, my father was... I returned to Jemison for the funeral. Oh, aren't you sweet? That's why I fell in love with you. Listen. You mean that? You'd do that? For me? I've been dreaming about this I just need a little time to think about the ceremony. You know.
Will we all be so lucky next time the archives need... The affairs of House Varun are our own.
I'm pleased to report that our stocks are... Welcome to UC...
Yes. Right. Come back if you need something else.
Captain, I just received a couple messages from an operative in the embassy office. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? Was he alive? Did they both actually agree? That's incredible. I wasn't sure Radcliffe would ever get on board. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you managed to pull all this off, but that'll have to wait for another time. Regardless, superlative work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Keeping the skies safe. Excuse me.
There you are.
Captain. Surprised to find out we're having visitors as we work.
Major Sinan and I were just discussing the merits of your planned interfactional cooperation. I think it's a great idea. Get them invested in the solution. Make it clear we've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure they'll be lovely house guests.
Now, Captain, if you wouldn't mind transferring the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing next steps.
We're hiring, if you're interested. Ask in the security office.
Time for us to start getting some real... So whenever you're ready. Acknowledged and accepted. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters. Should even be able to house its own cadre, though it sounds...
Indeed.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll... Follow me. This requires a little more pomp.
So, what's new with you today? Whatever you think is best.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get, which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am? No, I suppose not. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here, a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies. Very astute. That's my daughter. My progeny. You've been working alongside. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family? Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark. I'll tell you. There is a former colleague of mine, like myself in Hadrian, if it dealt when the colony, but I finally found him. I want you to track him. I'm not expecting he'll come quick. Bring me evidence that the job's done. Good. According to my info, there's a star.
I have something for you when you've got sex.
Hey, new model on the floor. Welcome to the one-of-a-kind. Not here to make your fortune out in the fields, then, huh? Oh, unless you mean least. But he's a combat bot. He's white, but it's been a while since anyone. Well, so sounds like you've got two of them. You can wander around out there, but knowing this going rate's a little. Pleasure doing business with you. So, last anyone heard of him, he was out near the Syracuse. Shipwreck about one of my rough eyes open too. Oh, give Ahab a.
Gel claims him and his pops bought this place for next to nothing.
What can I do for you? Ah, so heat leeches, wasn't it? But a micro cell. You could probably. So, wouldn't have lasted so long, but finding it, though, if you spots where you should, but in return, save us from risking our necks. Then let me just mark those.
Get a lot of visitors coming through.
Don't forget, what all legal. Get you something? No better select.
Battery accepted. Operational power levels restored. Analyzing. Residual damage detected. Impact shielding. Visual systems. Damage within acceptable limits. Thank you for your aid. I must resume my mission. Please step aside. Major Sanon will have to wait. I cannot leave my mission. Although previous attempts to disarm the weapon have been unsuccessful, additional support may allowing me to leave this. Excellent. Follow me. Mind your step. As you have no doubt witnessed, this region can be hazardous to organics. Hostile detected. detecting Unit 99. But there is a complication. Unit 99 is on the other side of that ridge. But it appears to be under the control of hostile forces. Sensors suggest Ecliptic, a mercenary company like Ecliptic. Standard procedure. Moving out. is finished. Now, what is this mission you spoke of? Major Sanan is involved. A plague of terramorph attacks. That is disconcerting. You are docked at one of a kind. I will meet you there.
colony's space. Maintain course and prepare to be scanned. Our scan detected contraband on board. Halt and prepare to be boarded. All illegal and stolen goods will be confiscated. Good. We don't need any more trouble.
We have arrived. I will meet you inside the facility.
I've heard you've been making the settled system safer. It's not much, but take this.
I can't believe it.
Major Sanon, Dr. Walker.
You're in better shape than I expected, Kaiser. Shouldn't take us long to get you back up to full fighting capacity.
This is good to hear. I was told there was a new threat on the horizon. I wish to learn more.
Percival will give you the full story.
Plus, get you dressed for the occasion.
Occasion? Where are we going?
Londinian.
Londinian. Doctor, I will require additional armaments.
That's the plan. Come on.
Captain, you're with me. Time to walk you through what we came up with. So the problem we're up against is vast. Terramorphs, they can be anywhere. Meaning us finding and disposing of them ourselves isn't an option. But what if we could let something else do the work for us? Come on, I'll walk you through what we're thinking. You remember that creature we talked about before you went to Nira? The thing that eats terramorphs, the Asili? Apparently, they were bloodhounds for terramorphs. But when the UC ran low on synthetic foods during the Colony War, the Asilis were chosen to fill in the gaps. We thought they were harvested to extinction, but in the data, the research team found the location of a few as you can see. What we're proposing is bringing them back. We'd breed populations of them, distribute them to human worlds, and then let nature take its course, using a method that thousands of years of adaptation have already perfected. We could speed up their breeding process using some of the same technologies that were used to create me. We even think that with some time and investigation, we could use the Asili's hunting skills to track down the terramorph transmission method at long last. Find out how humanity spread them. I really think it could. Now, they're a microbe. Something we could aerosol. It'd still take time. Well, so both plans are going to take Terramorph cell lines we can... or sharp... Not the sort of things... But we think we found a lead. All paths... Exactly what I was hoping. Now, we're cleared for... I'm gonna help her. But you need to know, they'll have anti...
Yes.
Goddamn planet. You romanticize a place when you're away from it for... Now you. Oh, what? You project personnel? No. I don't much care for my sister's kids live in this. Yeah, they... effectively useless. Still. Now, what was it? Everything up to spec. Can't do the job without the... Don't worry.
There's double time! I'll send the rest of your team along once they arrive.
I pride myself on knowing every person that steps foot on this planet. But I don't know you. Are you with this collection team they informed us we're hosting? Either that, or you're one deeply unlucky... Vanguard, eh? Ah. No need for introductions, Major Sanon. Dr. Walker, your reputations precede you, as does the urgency of your mission, so I'll get to it. Now, Londinian is one of the most... It's with good reason, my terramorphs are on when Major Sanon's... As such, we'll be provided... except one. Once you're on the other side of those barriers, you will be on your own. If you get into trouble, my people will not be coming. Do we understand each other? Precisely. I'll leave you to your... And I do believe there's someone waiting for you there. Now, though I can't... I hope you all find what you... Robot, you're coming...
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Commander. Percival, you all set?
Should only take a few minutes.
Percival will be scanning. All right. Head over to the armory and gear up.
Yes. Pardon?
Give him one for me, all right?
Hey.
Don't go into the city much. Never for long. Too risky.
Yes. What? You, Matchard. Make sure you had...
Heard you're going out there willingly. Damn.
Transfers complete. Those codes were the right.
All set on your gear? Then, let's... Kaiser? Percival, everything green on your ends?
I am ready.
Personal comm should be routed through Kaiser now. You copy that?
Roger, loud and clear.
Loud.
Oh, you're a riot robot.
Kaiser, kick it off.
Unlock code transmitted. You may open the gate when ready.
Alright. On our way into the city. Percival, where are we heading?
Running the first sweep. Got one. I see these. Old shipping yard just past the processing plant. Gene samples are probably in one of the containers.
Shit. These things... Bring them out and keep an eye out for the morph controlling them.
Injury sustained. You'll have to try combat procedures.
Looks like the last of them. No sign of the morph, though.
You're shipping. Processing plant. Cache with some goodies is towards the rear of the facility.
Kaiser, we close enough for you to dial in the location of those samples from here?
Yes, they're faint, but I'm detecting multiple valid signatures. I have restored power to the containers.
Jackpot. Get down there and collect as many as you can.
Kaiser, and let's get out of here.
Samples secure.
Nice work. No. Earlier scan picked up a valid terramorph sample, but, well, it's in the spaceport. The quick route there looks like it got blasted when the port did.
There are steam tunnels under the city, which will allow us to access the spaceport.
What do you... That's right. Kaiser, how did you know that?
I'm not sure.
Percival, you see any better option?
Not from where I'm standing.
You got our answer.
Access unlocked. We may proceed.
Kaiser, this flora, this is Lazarus plant, isn't it?
Confirmed.
You know, no one even realized it was a living thing until someone got it under a microscope and saw it had cells. All these leeches. What's keeping you things warm? What's that? My God, look at it. A Lazarus in bloom. You know, we might be some of the only... What's happening? Are you seeing this? Are terramorphs. You just saw that, right? You would tell me if I was losing my mind. That heat leech became a terramorph. The pests that heat leeches pretty major is the Lazarus plant. But that means if anyone, you could sneak a leak. Good God. But first...
Well, we're never gonna know if you don't catch that thing. Get after it!
We may proceed.
Go!
Percival, Kaiser's got the cell data from the New Atlantis and Tau Ceti attacks, right?
Uploaded them myself.
Captain, let Kaiser take a look at that sample.
Beginning analysis. It is a match. This suggests with high certainty that the Lazarus plant was used to trigger the attacks on both planets.
There's no way a plant this rare, this fragile, just shows up here, New Atlantis, and Tau Ceti. The transformations on those worlds, they must have been triggered by human hands. Captain, do you understand what it is we just stumbled on? Exactly. Someone saw the Lazarus plant. It makes some sense, actually. Tau Ceti was likely their first test. Someplace where ensure the... And the time... It couldn't have been just these... They certainly were. But having this answer, who could pull... Maybe.
Let's save the discussion for when you all are... If we're gonna do anything to prevent more Terramorph attacks, human cause or otherwise, we...
Roger that. Kaiser?
The entrance is this. I am unable to provide sufficient power to the lock mechanism.
Anyone got ideas where we could get some extra juice?
Local power looks like it was controlled in the security office. Upper floor.
Captain and I can scout it out. Kaiser, see if you can't find another way to get it open.
Roger that. I have restored power to the office entrance. You may proceed.
There's the control panel. Still looks operable. Of all the things to survive. I see it.
Reboot engaged. Running diagnostic. Diagnostic complete. Multiple systems unavailable. Warning. Priority safety concern detected. Exterior. Hatch power restored.
Back in business.
Warning. Emergency recorder message detected. Transcription process engaged. Playback initiated.
Admiral Sanon, you need to make the evacuation request.
That's my father he's addressing. He was here? Didn't think he'd have the guts to look those soldiers in the eye before blowing this place to pieces.
Admiral!
It just transformed. An invisible weapon. No planet will be safe. Colonel, the troops that closed off the sewers after my evaluation, they're all in this facility.
Other than our casualties, yes, sir.
Get them into defensive positions around the spaceport. No one leaves. They'll send ships as soon as possible.
Thank God. None of us wanted to go down swarmed by those things.
An invisible weapon. He knew about the Lazarus plant. Grab that recording. We should talk. Hey, Victus. He destroyed this place. He saw the potential of the plant as a weapon. He killed. Yes. But I guess only he did. Right. Settled systems are counting on us. Kaiser, try it now.
Guys, your sample, it moved. I'd be real careful out there if I were you.
That doesn't sound good. Eyes peeled.
You want to call it quits? You're not going to complain.
Up. Time to get the hell out of here. Percival, you should unplug and find somewhere we can talk. Privately.
frantic on... Ah, this... No, my connection might have gotten a bit...
That's what it sounded like.
That's putting it lightly.
But it's clear someone knows about the plant and realized what ends it could be put toward. Captain, we need to get these samples back to the lab and... But in the interim...
If it were me,
Thank you, Captain. Once you finish your... They're gonna want to hear it. Take care of yourself.
I'm so lucky to wake up every day to someone like you. Back, eh? How's it going? Happy to listen. Only if it's one of your deepest. I will never love another person. Yes, absolutely.